Hey YouTubers, today we're going to be scrapping a small cash register, so always have your safety gloves on and the proper tools. We're just going to check and see if we can find high grade boards or whatever is valuable inside of this receipt machine. So let's check it out. Alright, first we're gonna pop out the screws on the back, which I already did with a Phillips screwdriver. 3, 4, 5, 6. There were 6 screws. And we also found a battery, and it's good to keep these batteries because these batteries, some of them or most, have silver inside of them, so always stockpile those things. Don't throw them away. Okay, so let's pop this thing open. It's always good to see what's inside of these machines. Okay. Now, you see the low grade board, and that's a possible high grade, but these are both low grade boards, as you can see. So we have some wires. We have the power source, the copper bearing motor. So I need some wire cutters. So I'll try to cut these wires as close as possible. I know my glove was blurring the vision there. Okay, so we're going to keep this, of course, throw that in the bin after we sever these wires off of it. Now most guys who collect these, they can turn them in as is, as a transformer or a copper bearing motor, but a guy like myself, I would try to take as much copper out of these things as possible. So if you see it's an easy way to take the copper out, go for it. There are videos on YouTube that will show you. There's a lot of guys who are pretty good at maybe I'll make a video in the future on breaking down transformers. Okay, there's a high grade board inside of this thing. I'll show it to you. Let's tear this off. Alright, we have some gold fingers, and those fingers are on a low grade board, so that's why I say most boards do have some sort of gold contacts on them. So I would need my Phillips screwdriver to pop out a few screws, this side and the other side, and the board just have 2 screws under this metal slab here. You can see that screw up under there, so I will be taking that apart. Let's go ahead and see what these boards have on them. There's always something good inside these things, or maybe not. But the good part about it is we just want to find out what's in them. You'll find aluminum parts, you'll find copper, of course you'll find wires. So I need a smaller Phillips. And having the proper tools is always good. That way you can get into these devices and not hurt yourself. So it's much safer to try to have the best tool possible you can use. I don't break the boards up unless I'm taking something off of the board that I need. And the boards are still worth money, whether you shatter them in pieces, just put them in the bin where your low grade boards, or your medium grade boards, or your high grade boards. Because once they get to the dealer, those guys are going to send it through a machine, and it's going to shatter those boards in pieces anyway. So, okay, we have a piece of cast aluminum on here, and a lot of capacitors on there, different types. We have the electrolytic ceramics, and a lot of these ceramic capacitors are worth a lot of money. You can get like the EPROMs, like these long black ones here. Those are worth roughly $4.50 to $5 a pound, and these bigger electrolytic capacitors are worth money as well. I'm not sure the price on them, but I would say if you want, you can take all of these off, sort them, put the ceramics with the ceramics, and put the EPROMs with, you got ceramic EPROMs, and you also have what other type of EPROM it is. It's another type that you also have that's worth I think a little less. So the ceramic EPROMs are worth a lot more money. So, and in the solder here, all solder has a small amount of silver in it. So there are ways to extract the silver out of the solder. So maybe I'll do that in the near future. Let's look at this other board here. It has a lot of screws on it. Yeah, and I would recommend, you guys to diligently search on the internet. And if you have a lot of computer boards, a lot of those parts on those computer boards, whether they come out of computers, electronics, or any kind of electronic device, they are worth a lot of money. But you just have to know what to look for. So that's why we're here, and that's why we share information amongst each other. So we're actually working together. Let's work together. I learn as I go. I'm not the best at what I do. It is a few things that I did scrap, and kind of regret that I didn't take some things off of those boards. But this communication wire, it's worth 10 cents a pound. So throw that in a different bin from your copper wires or your aluminum wire, or you can pretty much throw it in the aluminum wire bin. That's what it's all about. That's why they call it communication wires. I would say this thing really only had a few things in it, but I just want to see what this board has on the face side. Maybe there's some gold that we can scrap from that and dissolve, or maybe not. So let me take these little screws out A lot of them. Yep, so I've noticed a lot of guys are moving away from scrapping just metal, because if you're into just scrapping metal, you're not going to make the larger sums of money that comes out of computers or electronics. So you really do have to upgrade your skills and start researching what devices to look for when you're out and about. And I know the top of the line boards are the telecom boards. Those things are worth a lot by the pound. They're very heavy. They have a lot of gold and precious metals inside of those things, and they're hard to come by, I can tell you that much. You would really have to have a solid connect to get a hold of some telecom boards, or go on eBay and you can see how much guys are pricing those things, whether they're broke or working in working condition. So, but they're worth a lot of money, and they have a lot of solid gold pieces on those things. But I'm always looking to stock up on my gold and silver, and my aim is to make as many gold and silver bars as I can. Okay, this board is fairly just a low grade board. May have some silver content in here, and it's pretty much worthless, so you just put it in your very low grade pile. So you have a lot of plastic. And we do have some copper wire from the plug. And we have, a little gold that we can pop out for there. So make sure you cut that as close as possible, in a way. Get more money that way if you sell them that way. But if you're processing them, I would recommend processing it yourself. Kind of smelt, but before you start the smelting process, you wanna get your nitric acids and kind of refine it as best you can, and get your gold quality content as high as you can. And that's the aim, because you get more money. And when you're dealing with gold, it's a long process, but trust me, it'll be worth it in the long run. Long process, but it's worth it. So I would recommend you guys to stick to looking for gold. This gold plated stuff inside these electronics, and I really didn't have to open this up. I could just cut that off. But I want the whole board so I can throw it in my pile. But let's just sniper that off. Where's my use these channel locks. See if we can get a clean cut with these. Oh. Okay, that's fine. This thing's already broke up. So we got that part off. And we're going to add that to our finger jar. I try to separate these from my fingers because when you process them, you know, you got to do a different processor. Got to process it differently. But maybe there's some brass inside of this. It's not even worth tearing apart. But if you want to get the electrical motors out, that'll be one thing that I'll get out. 2 screws right there and just pop it out the back. And just a little copper on the side here. Rest of it just scrap metal. So, and we have some wires here. We just snatch those off. And I do keep a lot of these things just in case. You know, you never know what's going to happen in the future. As far as how someone can learn how to extract the palladium out of certain items that we, especially like the screens on the cell phones. There's a lot of metals and high quality metals inside of those things, and inside of this I do see some gold tips up in here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but right here lined up. So I'm gonna bust that open and see if there's a lot of gold in there. And let's do it now. We're on a treasure hunt today. There's my hammer. Oh, there you go. Make sure you have your safety goggles on when dealing with this stuff. And make sure you have some place to dump. There's glasses and things of that nature. So let's take a closer look, see what we have in here. That look like some good gold content in there. Alright, there you go. Yeah. Just a little bit. But that stuff adds up, so we'll just pluck those off and throw them in the jar. And when the jar gets full, we'll have enough to start the process. But we'll do it in like a 4, a quarter of the jar. Process that. Because the lesser the better, and the quicker all those flakes will come together. So. Alright guys, next thing I'll be looking into is these lithium batteries, or the nickel cadmium batteries, and we're going to see if it's best to break these things down or just leave them as they is and sell them as they is, because what I do with them, just to go ahead and merge this video with that, I just popped let me get one that has some gold on it. I just popped this plastic part off. Let's do one now. Get some pliers or some channel locks. There's a little small board inside of these things that's connected to it. So we just pop that off. And what you have in here is that, see? And you still could recycle the battery and make your money, but at the same time collect the gold. Okay guys, hope you liked the video. Next video I'll try to go much more in depth on some different things, or some different other types of precious metals that are rare. And I hope you guys stick with me, subscribe, comment, and let me know what you think. Thank you.